During this season of Lent, I think each of us will be entering into the desert of sorts as an apprentice to Jesus, as he's walking along with his 40 days in the desert, in that stark desert. It was a time of reflection for Jesus, and it's a time of reflection for you and me. Quiet reflection in our lives. An examination of the good and the not so good. The areas that we need to examine closely and hopefully change. I think each of us will be probably pretty stubborn as we enter into that time of reflection to try and do what Jesus did there, facing what he faced. Here's the question that's posed for all of us today in the gospel. Are you ready for the desert journey? Or will it just be another journey through Lent as usual? Are you going to really take time to reflect about what this time means in your life? Will you let it be a time of honesty, to make changes in your life, to deal with those nooks and those crannies of your life that need refining, that need restoration, that need reconciliation? Will you examine those areas of your life that you don't even want to look at? Those that you're ashamed of. Those that you don't want anybody else to know about. Can you be quiet enough? Will you be honest enough with yourself? Will you listen for the voice of God? Will you be still enough to feel the nudge of God's grace in your life? That grace to be more loving, more forgiving, less resentful, less judgmental, more welcoming, more real and honest about who you are and what needs your attention and reconciliation with God. The story about the desert today is a place of clarification for Jesus, and it's also a place of clarification for you and me. When we begin to face and remove those trivial desires in our lives that preoccupy us, our ego, our wealth, our ambitions, our desire for ourselves to be the best, to be the most, to be the richest, to be the most comfortable, the coolest, the most popular. Our ability to cut people down with a single word. If we look at those areas, we can see with disturbing clarity what we essentially have become and what most pressingly matters in our lives. If you ask anybody who is facing death what their thoughts are centered on, they will hardly ever reflect on the things that they have accomplished or how great they are or what they have done. They always focus on what more they could have done in their lives. Did I do enough? Did I change enough to be more loving? Did I love enough? Did I give enough in my life to help those that I love or even those that I didn't? Am I good enough to enter God's kingdom? The rest to them, what they have or what they have done or what they have become, it's all insignificant. Their focus is on the love of God and wanting so passionately to be united in God's love. Cardinal Francis George of Chicago, before he died, was reflecting after a talk he had given. And he gave some off-the-cuff remarks. And he said to the people gathered, you know, the only thing we take with us when we die is what we have given away in our lives. The only thing that endures from this life to the next is our relationship with God and with others. Oh, but we become distracted in our lives, don't we? You know, Blaise Pascal, a French inventor and a theologian, he said that most of us spend our lives seeking distractions because we can't bear the weight of the great questions that God is asking of us. I think it's really true. But as we begin to examine ourselves, we might encounter a voice that calls us and tells us that our wants and our expectations are more important than the needs of others. A voice that rationalizes that our greediness is more important, and it denies our responsibility for the greater good. We play, we gossip, we eat, we drink, we seek the most ordinary entertainment so that we don't have to face the truth. Oh, my friends, the truth is the reality of death, as well as the demands that God is making on each of our lives. You know, the Spirit of God motivates people into the desert because it's a place where these distractions disappear and they can face them and let them go. It's a place of inventory of our lives, of our actions, our decisions, our motives, our beliefs, those life experiences which are shaping the heart of our soul. But are they shaped by us? Or are they shaped by Jesus Christ? You see, Jesus faced the same temptations. He was human. They're the same temptations that you and I face on a daily basis. Those distractions are the tempter in today's gospel. It is a voice within us that tells us we come first. But being in that period really challenges us to examine honestly, openly, quietly, the truths about our lives and the need to change. Are you willing to do it? Will you be fully open to your desert journey? Can you face the tempters in your life? See, the rub is, with Jesus, we must, if we want the kingdom of God. You know, at the end of the Lord's fast, the tempter arrives and Jesus states a stark choice for all of us. Whoever is not with me is against me, and whoever does not gather with me, they scatter. And then, following that, Jesus is ready for his great commission. And that commission ends up with the culmination of his death on the cross. The only thing Jesus took with himself when he died was what he gave away. His life for you and for me and for our sins. The only thing that mattered to Jesus in his lifetime was his relationship with God and his relationship with humanity. You know, you and I have to resolve this Lent to face our distractions, to face our temptations. Take some time Go into that desert. Become a bit hungry. Become a bit thirsty. Purposely run on empty so that you can attain the great examination to openly and honestly look at those areas. In doing so, reflect quietly. Listen carefully. Feel the nudge to change. And don't be afraid. Jesus is right there. He knows. He understands. Tell him. I'm going to follow up with you on this topic on Palm Sunday, the next time I preach, where each of us will face and experience a whole week of the foundation of our faith. I look forward to our continued